The critical drinker has become a familiar voice in online film commentary. Gruff, sarcastic, and proudly cynical, he's known for his disdain toward what he calls the decline of modern storytelling. His recurring complaint is simple. Movies today, he says, no longer center on strong, relatable male leads. Instead, political correctness, what he calls the message, has supposedly poisoned Hollywood. Heroic men have been replaced by checkbox characters, often women, designed to satisfy an agenda rather than tell compelling stories. But if you listen closely, what the critical drinker really seems to miss isn't just better writing. It's something more specific. What he wants back is a world where men feel only through other men. A world where masculinity is the emotional center of every story. And that brings us to something literary theorist Eve Kosofsky-Sedgwick called homosocial desire. Homosocial desire is the emotional bond men form with other men through admiration, competition, and shared struggle. In patriarchal systems, these bonds tend to matter more than anything else. Women, in this structure, aren't fully realized people. Their tools, their rewards, their background, they exist to move the male arc forward, nothing more. In ancient Greece, the most valued relationships were between men, intellectual, emotional, romantic. Plato even argued that love between men was the highest form of love, because it was based on shared reason and virtue. Women were not part of that emotional world. They were excluded, necessary for reproduction, but not companions, not equals. That same emotional hierarchy still exists today, just dressed in modern language. In patriarchal culture, real emotional intimacy between men and women, what we might call heterosocial desire, is still treated with suspicion. A man who spends too much time with women, who defends them, empathizes with them, or takes their side, is marked as soft, weak, unmanly. He's labeled a simp, a white knight, a beta, sometimes even gay. This ridicule isn't just juvenile name-calling. It's a mechanism of control. It enforces loyalty to the homosocial order. Patriarchy depends on men centering other men emotionally, politically, and narratively. It rewards men for keeping their deepest connections inside the male circle and punishes them when they step outside of it. And this is exactly the world the critical drinker is trying to protect. When he rails against female protagonists, he's not just critiquing character development or plot structure. He's reacting to what feels like a betrayal of the emotional system he's grown up inside, a system where stories are about men, where pain belongs to men, and where feelings are exchanged only between men. Women can be love interests, victims, or prizes, but they cannot be the emotional core. When a woman takes the lead, he doesn't see a character, he sees an agenda. In his mind, she's not there because her story demanded it, or because her presence expands the emotional landscape of cinema. She's there because some boardroom checklist said she had to be, because feminism interfered, because woke Hollywood struck again. It is often assumed by people like Critical Drinker that any film with a female lead must be made for women, simply because they can't understand why any man would be interested in a story about a woman. There's no homosocial current to plug into, no man to channel his identification through. And because patriarchy teaches men to feel only through other men, stories that center women feel emotionally foreign. A homosocial man doesn't just fail to relate to a powerful female protagonist, he resents her. Patriarchy taught him to find women desirable only when they are vulnerable, passive, or in need of male intervention. Strength in women is pathologized. It reads as arrogance, as an affront, as something unfeminine. That's why so many female-led films are accused of being man-hating or emasculating, even when they aren't. He cannot imagine that anyone, least of all another man, might genuinely be drawn to her. To him, such a man must be weak, submissive, a beta, because patriarchal logic insists that power is for men and submission is for women, and that crossing those wires is unnatural, laughable, even shameful. In the end, the critical drinker's longing isn't really for better movies. It's for a familiar emotional world, one where men are the only people who matter. He isn't gay in the traditional sense, but his emotional attachments, his admiration, his identification, his desire for meaning, all of it is routed through other men. And for a man who's only ever known how to feel through other men, a woman who takes the lead isn't just a narrative shift. She's a void, a mirror that reflects nothing back.